Welcome back to As Told by Ashley. And today we'll be talking about A Vow In Vengeance by Jaclyn Rodriguez. Yeah. So, it's a new book. I saw it on someone's Instagram. Sometimes I struggle with reading books strictly off of what I like without anyone else to vouch for them first. But I did try that with this one. I think it came out January 20th. A Vow In Vengeance follows Rune. Rune lives in a world where there are three types of magical beings and then humans. It's the elves, the seraphs, and the druids, and then the humans. And every year, the three magical beings alternate selecting 100 humans to join their race against their will, obviously. They take them over the wall. That's all you ever hear from them again. And so the story picks up with Rune volunteering herself. I take it back. The story picks up with Rune's mother being taken by some magical beings. We don't know who they are because you can't avoid selection. And once you do avoid selection, you are punished for it. And so her brother and father have already been taken. And so now they take her mother. Rune escapes. She, hucks it until she's able to become this super secret spy for some kingdom in the world. That goes awry. She burned the kingdom down. Now she's a fugitive. And so her plan is to volunteer tribute for the selection, go across the wall, find her family, wreak havoc on the magical beings that took her. Faulty plan, sure, but yeah. She gets selected, and she gets selected by the druids. The druids operate off of tarot card magic, and basically after they are selected, once they're taken across their wall, little do they know, they are turned into the magical being, into druids. And then they are asked to select a card because they can't select a card without being transformed into the magical beings because the humans can't hold the power of the magic. So they're transferred to druids. And she pulls the strongest card, which is the world card. There are like 10 different levels of magic, like the magician, the empress, that are like different things. But the world card holds all those magics in one card. There's only one other person that pulls that card or that has that card, and it's Prince Draven, and that is the king's prince in the book. A Vow In Vengeance is a dark academia set.
Bonding it.
Tarot magic focus.
It does.
Forced proximity. I want to say it's enemies to lovers, but it really doesn't give enemies to lovers. Like, they never really hated each other. And so now I'm going to get into first my positives. I do like tarot card magic. I haven't read anything else in tarot card magic, and so I'm still getting used to fantasy or romantasy. So still learning different types of magic. It was cool. That was a cool twist. I can't really say anything else that I loved about the book. It was because since it's a fantasy book, I have been told a philosophy that I adopted was fantasy books, 9 times out of 10, the first book is the price you pay of entry, which means that first book is a bunch of nonsense. You don't know what's going on. Or it's just very slow because they're world building and they're trying to get you bought in. And so that's how I felt heavily with this book. A new magic, a new land, new characters. It felt like I think the perfect concoction of a fantasy book is 30% world development, 30% plot development.
Take one.
30% world building, 30% plot development.
Two.
30% world building, 30% world building, 30% plot development, 40% action. And I feel like it was a little bit of a meld in that world building, plot development space. Like, the magical beings were just magical beings. I feel like some of the magic in the book I knew from reading, not because she explained it to it. And baby, if you walk me into a new world, you have to tell me where everything is. If I come into your house for the first time, you can't assume that I know where the bathroom is. You have to tell me where the bathroom is, because although I have been in houses, I ain't been in your house. Same thing. She was talking about like fated mates and runes and bonds. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to have to tell me what that is. You can't just assume I know what it is because I read magic books. So it's that. Again, like I said, with the enemies to lovers thing, I think the intent was enemies to lovers. The vibe gave more forced proximity. Like, they never really had a palpable hate or a palpable tension. And what I needed my enemies to lovers is tension that I would say it was forced proximity more than I would say enemies to lovers. But the reason that it was forced proximity is because once you pull a card once you pick your tarot card magic, you live in the housing area that draws your card. So if it's only her and the prince that had it, it was only them two. Rip it with the page. Like, it will tear with the page. They were just really more so like cat and mouse. Like, I feel like we could have leaned a little bit more into Prince Draven being a little bit more broody. She was kind of broody and he was a little obnoxious. So I got it. I picked up the notes. It's like when you smell a candle, you're like, I can smell the notes of bergamot. Like, I get what you were going for, but it didn't like punch me in my chest like oh, y'all hate each other. It's like, it's only a matter of time. I don't know why I don't know what the genre would be for hard to get, but it's not enemies to lovers. There needs to be a genre between love at first sight and enemies to lovers. That hard to get, because it's not friends to lovers either. Like, somewhere between hard to get and love at first sight. Speaking of the romance portion, in order to save her from getting killed by one of the evil magic beings, Prince Draven was like, she's my fated mate. And it's just like, okay. And they forced it. They never, it's not like they were really meant to be. They forced that square peg into that round hole and was just like, yeah, it works. First, it was like he just said it. And they was like, that's strange. I don't know if changelings, because it's what, I don't know if like magic beings you created can have fated mates because we created you. And then they was like, okay, they can't smell it on us. We got to start sleeping in the same bed together. And they start sleeping in the same bed together. And it's like, this not working either. Could not knock boots, or I could bite you like a vampire. Bite you? Vampire? Vampires shouldn't exist in here. What are we talking about? And from there, it just turned into like this very tense situation. It's just like, but they never knock boots. It's the slowest burn. The publisher on this is Slow Burn Reads. Top one of the slowest burns I've ever read before. Those will be my critiques. I feel like I'm rambling, but that's the point of a YouTube video. Those are my critiques. Again, positives. Other one. Dark Academia. It was supposed to be Dark Academia, but the focus wasn't. It didn't give Dark Academia focus. It wasn't enough classroom setting. Like, they studied, it was like 2 study sessions, and one of them study sessions was for midterms and then finals. And it's like, I thought we was in school. Positives were tarot card magic. Love that. I did enjoy. Also, what I will say, while the world building and the plot development were tough, when the rubber met the road, and when the magic started bumping, it did get good. The action scenes did pick up. We did have some buy-in. The plot twist in there was like, okay. Those were the positives. Again, the negatives, the Dark Academia. We wasn't in that classroom enough for Dark Academia to have mattered. To me, don't list it as Dark Academia if it just takes place at the school. If we're not failing tests, leave it out of it. It was more studies, tutoring, summer school than they was locked into magic. The love building, I didn't like the forced fated mates part. Like, because the point of fated mates are, as far as I know, in the other fantasy books I read, the point of this is they are supposed to have a bond that cannot be created or broken. And if y'all can create it, then what's the point? It took away the authenticity. World building and the plot development were a little sticky, but all in all, I would still recommend it a 3.7 out of 5 stars. I wouldn't give it just a 3 because the plot, I can see the potential. I can't give it a 4 though, because the first 250 pages was rough. It is book 1 in what I assume to be a trilogy. So I am going to read book 2. Now, she may be mad in book 2.